into the first game of the last series of the night. Black Bulls up against Ultraviolet in the land of Dawn, Mirko.
Yeah, now it becomes extremely clear what Ultraviolet are going for, honestly, for me, right? With the Veil pick, it's the cherry on top here for their composition, but he needs to be careful here because look at the kill pressure that Loaf has on this Grok. Instantly just takes half of Mizu's HP away, just like that. They get the clear onto the mid lane, and this is what we mentioned. Active roamers in the game with the mid lane as well. Clearing out the mid lane has never been easier now with the help of the roamer, and technically with the help of the jungler, it's possible now, right? The jungler doesn't get gold from the mid lane anymore. They can find pressure all across the map, and now it is going to be the Little Wanderer fight. Let's see who gets it here. Jethy already rotating, trying to get it, but it is going to be the Black Bulls who maneuvers themselves and zones Ultraviolet away from the Little Wanderer to secure it.
Yeah, I feel like Ultraviolet's going to have a little bit of a slow start here, especially, like, I see the possibilities, I see the ideas behind this Veil pick, but I think you're going to have a bit of a slow start with it. I think it takes him a little while to even get the knockup, to even have the full the full possibilities of your skill set, right? So, and if they're also going for this damage build on the Karina, I think, it's going to take a little bit of time till Ultraviolet really wants to make its move here, but a lot of possibilities I do see with their composition, right? A lot of chain CCs, a lot of damage for these 5v5s. It's just the way they approach it. Loaf taking some big damage already in the early game, but overall on the map, a bit of a stalemate.
Yeah, both teams really in the early game. It's all about the skirmish. It's all about the picks right now, and I feel like Ultraviolet will have a little bit of an edge here. Zakai goes for a heavy spin, pins Jethy down, but there's no follow-up just yet. Jethy will be able to get out with that first ability, with the help, obviously, from his team as well. Sam QT, though, he does have the Falling Star Moon ready to use. Black Bulls, they recover once again, very similarly to the Little Wanderer fight. They get the better position. They are able to zone Ultraviolet away, and just like that, they control this side of the jungle, even taking the purple buff out away from Ultraviolet. Jethy will go for the Retribution to secure it. Not really going to lose much of that Retribution because, again, Black Bulls, they already secured the turtle, so using it onto the purple buff makes a lot of sense. Ultraviolet still in it, but Black Bulls with the early aggression and early advantage.
I gotta give it to Sam Cutie and Bomby for not forcing that fight into the mid lane tower, right? Said we're gonna save the real manipulation, but a wild charge comes in, and 23 problems will go down. It looks like you got a few problems there, but back to what I was stating, I like the patience there. They didn't force that fight in the mid lane. They decided to go for the turtle instead, and Sam Cutie saves the Fallen Star Moon for any zoning capabilities, and then eventually put pressure onto the blue buff. But it just shows a little bit of discipline goes a long way. You get the turtle, and you get a lot out of that. They already have a 1,000 gold lead now, 3 minutes in, Mirko.
Yeah, and right now, if you take a look at just Black Bulls, how they're playing it, it's really intelligent because for the most part, they are actually avoiding team fights. They're just letting KOTT farm. The aggression that they've been, showing in the early stage has actually been more so to enable the gold lane, the mid lane to farm up more than just to find an advantage. As simple as that. Right now, KOTT has been able to actually farm up really well. He actually has a level advantage, as that's gonna be the Shadow Assault actually popped by Jethy, trying to look for a kill on to Sam QT. But again, damage won't be enough to take down an Esmeralda this early on. He needs to maybe wait for that Calamity Reaper before he actually does damage on the Karina. And Ultraviolet, slowly but surely, they will actually lose out in these team fights, right? Because Black Bulls, look at their composition. It's a very good late game, mid to late game composition that does exactly the same as Ultraviolet, but maybe in a more multi-dimensional way.
Yeah, speaking of multi-dimensional, I think that real manipulation is what's going to really be the clutch thing for Black Bulls here in those team fights. And Ultraviolet opted to go for this Veil, and it doesn't really apply the same thing. I think if Black Bulls can kind of be just reactionary, we do have Turtle up though before we go any farther. Possible pick off from Jethy here.
These problems going in, but the wild charge will cancel his engage. The perfect match was not going to be popped there. That's going to be Bomby who pins him down, and they find a pick. Sam QT dishing out so much damage, getting the damage put onto him as well. And the real world inflation will be able to lock them in place, and that's the follow-up coming through. Loaf once again coming through, getting Riki-sama, and Black Bulls. The coordination in the team fight is just immaculate.
Yeah, very, very clean. You get the turtle. You get some picks. Or did actually Ultraviolet? No, yes. Black Bulls end up securing that turtle. They get some picks, putting them at 4-0. Only 5 minutes in, 4,000 gold lead. This is big for Black Bulls. Ultraviolet, I said that they were going to have a bit of a weak start, and I feel like maybe the better option was just maybe surrendering that turtle down to the bot. Soda may go down here, but it is a Uranus. He should be all right here, Mirko.
Yeah, he has the consecration. He doesn't have the sprint, so he was kind of vulnerable, but I don't think Black Bulls wanted to engage too hard on that. MQT, though, goes in for the falling star moon. He's going to be punished there by the wind blow and the wind blade. Very aggressive movements. 23 Problems pops the conceal to get away, but Loaf with the on-point wall, able to just force the flicker out of him, and that's a problem now for Ultraviolet. They've lost their engage potential with the flicker, so there's no more shock factors in this engage. It will be very visible and will be very predictable when he wants to go for this.
I feel like there's so much fight control, you know, not map control, but just like scrim control from Black Bulls right now with the wall, with so many different utilities, able to kind of course the way Ultraviolet moves in some of these clashes the way exactly that they wanted to. And speaking of clashes, Mirko.
Yeah, perfect match there from 23 Problems getting away. Look at Mizu. He's going to get pinned down there, and the real world equation will be there as well to dish out the damage. Mizu somehow dodging away from everything. He will fall to the hands of Loaf. Paul doesn't get that with the Yeve, but again, this is just kills, pickoffs that they're getting everywhere on the map. Meanwhile, top side though, Shadow Assault with the help of Wesker's damage will be able to pop his HP bars down to 0. Ultraviolet pick up a kill. Riki-sama going for the render shot, but Bomi just so tanky, so much damage, gonna be able to bring 23 Problems very low, even under the turret. Getting Fatal Links down there will actually kind of assist him in getting that kill. Doesn't really do much as, again, no follow-up as of right now. And guess what? They're chaining it. They're converting on objective so well after kills.
I mean, one thing, Ultraviolet does have a little bit of shimmer of hope here, right? Like, Jethy, luckily, has not taken a death yet. He has been farming up. Yes, he's a little behind Balmy right now. Maybe a lot behind Balmy right now. But there is some possibilities there if we want to really force this into the late game. But as you mentioned, it just seems like Black Bulls has the better team fight composition even for the late game, right? Missed wild charge from Loaf there, and the heavy spin comes in on 23 Problems. Real manipulation does come out. 23 with a big fatal links, but it's not enough. Black Bull still comes out on top with a 1-for-1 trade, and I still feel like they just this is like what we saw with the last series, Mirko. The Fatal Links locks in, but Black Bulls is just too far ahead, and there's nothing that Ultraviolet can do to follow these things up.
This is the thing when we're talking about team fight competitions, right? When you're only good at that one thing, you really need to make that work as soon as possible. The thing is, in the past 8 minutes, it hasn't been a really smooth road for Ultraviolet. They've actually fell behind quite a bit, right? So Black Bulls, with the advantage that they have, the tanky members have a lot of these defensive items built already, and KLQT and Paul, look at the damage, look at the items that they already have, right? They're going to be able to dish out more damage, and they're going to be able to take more. So Ultraviolet, even with the combo wombo that they were able to do there, they weren't really able to find anyone on top of that, right? They found the roamer, but that's it. I mean, they found Bomi, who's a tank, kinda, in the jungle. He's not really the prior target that they should be looking for. It should be Kale, it should be Paul. If they don't get either one of them, it's still gonna be rough for them.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Even if Ultraviolet wants to bring this to the late game, right? Like, you haven't gotten a pick on Kale yet. You haven't gotten a pick on Paul yet. So the late game heroes of Black Bulls are, like, ready to go as well. Their damage is already there practically at 9 minutes. We haven't even really seen Kale force any big engages, but I'm sure it's coming soon. Almost getting taken out, close call. But Black Bulls continues to eat up, put pressure into the jungle, take away blue buffs, and just now they're going to move on to this Lord, and it just looks gloomier and gloomier for the side of Ultraviolet here, Mirko.
Yeah, I mean, I took a look at the items already earlier. KLQT, he has that gold stab, but wait a minute, it's going to be again Soda getting pinned down. The damage will come through from KLQT. Wind blow there will be able to cancel out the real world evasion, but Sam QT jumps in the falling star moon and the blazing duet to follow it through as well. It is going to be Riki-sama that falls with Soda as well. A 2-for-0 from the Black Bulls. Mizu, he's in the bush. He's looking for a pick. He's looking for a trade, but KLQT can just lifesteal back up over onto that minion. He's gonna go over to the Lord now, dishing out the damage with the battle mirror image there. I don't think Mizu has an opening to look for anything, and KLQT gets it. Black Bulls with the Lord in the 10th minute of the game.
Yeah, 10 minutes, 7,000 gold. 3 towers down. Have not taken a single tower from Black Bulls at that. Black Bulls definitely at the tipping point here. The gold lead is just getting higher and higher and higher, and it's looking, like I said, it's just looking rough for Ultraviolet. What exactly is the problem? I'm wondering if, I think they needed to just really kind of slow play it, maybe even more. And once again, the Atlas. I think if you're going to pick that Atlas, you got to make sure you've taken the Akai off the board. Once again, we're just seeing it be a major problem because he gets so far ahead. And in a lot of these team fights, it just seems like Ultraviolet's getting split up and Black Bulls is just picking off each member one by one. And that might be what we're about to see here, Mirko.
Yeah, just the presence alone. When they use the conceal, that's it. Ultraviolet instantly forced to back up. They cannot risk fighting that. Even though they know the positions, even though they might have like a skill advantage, it's still not going to work for them because, again, Black Bulls, look at the gold lead that they've been able to accumulate over the last 11 minutes of the game. It's almost now at 10K, right? Right now, it's 8K. They need to get more objectives, but right now, it's just full map control. Once again, we're seeing this happen. Black Bulls suffocating their opponents. They have taken every single turret apart from that base turret. That's literally the only turrets left, those 3 turrets in the base. And it's just going to be really tough for Ultraviolet because now they're forced to wait for Black Bulls to make a mistake. That's their win condition right now. Waiting for Black Bulls, expecting Black Bulls to make a mistake. And that's something that I don't see happening here. Black Bulls, they're very disciplined in the way they're taking this game. They're manipulating the waves really well. And Ultraviolet are pinned.
Yeah, I love the way Bommy's just sitting here, like, waiting. Like, come on. Oh, Sam Cutie struck him down from Mizu. Maybe he's finally starting to get some damage. 23 problems. A little too deep. Gets a beautiful Fatal Links, but Loaf is there to help out. In comes Jethy. Real comes out, but Jethy taking a lot of damage. Will get picked off from Kale Cutie right there. Sama will be next. Another member from Ultraviolet down. This could be it. 40 seconds until the next Lord. Black Bulls wins out on another team fight.
Oh man, but again, this is the fights that like Ultraviolet need to take, right? Like, yes, they are behind. They do end up losing. The favorable trade goes to Black Bulls, but getting a kill onto Paul, that's huge. Getting a kill anywhere right now is going to be big for Ultraviolet. What they need to do is just do that, right? That's their ticket to get back into the game. Get kills, put it on the members that need that gold. Like Riki-sama, sure, he died, but when he got that kill, he was able to maybe buy a few more items, get a little more spending money, and that might be difference maker, especially on a hero like Beatrix. Once you get to that power spike, it can change the course of the game, the tempo of the game entirely, especially considering that Ultraviolet's composition is built to go for these flippy team fights with Atlas and that Veil.
Yeah, I mean, Ultraviolet, I think you could probably give up this Lord. We saw them clear that last Lord pretty well, right? You do still have Riki-sama, who can kind of melt down a Lord here with this Beatrix. They do have the possibility. Mizu's damage also starting to get big, as we just saw. I mean, we saw Sam Cutie just get deleted. I didn't see exactly where her health bar was at, but still, the damage is getting there for Ultraviolet, even along with Jethy. So I think they can survive this Lord push, and it was a good play, not trying to force that contest. But they need to, after this siege, because like you mentioned, Black Bull's probably not going to make a huge mistake. After the siege, you might want to start biting back a little bit. You are at a huge deficit, but they are starting to get a few more wins. So maybe some more possibilities, maybe a little bit more hopes there for Ultraviolet here.
Let's see if they're able to defend this Lord push here, built by Black Bulls, my bad. They are already pushing in through that mid lane with the Evolved Lord, marching down, gets that mid lane taken down so fast. It's actually the Windstorm actually taking a whole lot of HP coming from Sam QT. The Shadow Saw finishes him off, and that's gonna be the flanks actually, but it's not gonna be enough because the Blazing Duet just melts through everyone there, and Kill QT, still alive with the Wind of Nature, is able to back up with a Battle Mirror image. They're looking for more turrets on the board. Bottom side is going to be targeted here by Paul as Ultraviolet, Mizu, Riki-sama, and Soda. They're forced to just go and clear out the wave in the mid lane first. They're not even going to be able to defend that bottom side. They'll lose 2 base turrets. They get an equal trade in terms of kills. But again, this is what Black Bulls need to do. They get the turrets taken down, and there you have it. More map control, more map pressure. Another push with the Evolved Lord should do it. Ultraviolet, now is the time to fight or flight in the Lord in that spawns in 70 seconds.
Yeah, this is definitely the last opportunity. You know, I knew they could probably defend that one, but next one, you have no inhibitors left. And I got to give it up to Paul, right? Knows that the Lord is going to be able to break through that minute inhibitor, saves the real manipulation for a great timing, able to catch 3 or 4 members of Ultraviolet in the midst of it. But Jethy and Ultraviolet also respond pretty quickly. They immediately jump on top of Paul. So Ultraviolet seemed to learn quickly, like figure out how they want to approach these team fights quickly, also showing some patience, but a huge spin, Mirko, with the wild charge. Jethy goes down. Soda may just be next. Real manipulation comes out, and Soda is taken out to a double kill, going over to Bommy.
Once again, oh my goodness, Black Bulls on top of the initiation that was set up by Sam QT. They're able to find more on the board with a pin, with a heavy spin that Bommy was able to do. And now, with 3 members down, I feel like this they can end. We're going to take a look at a replay as well. And what really happened there is they will be pushing into that mid lane. It looks like it's going to be over here. As that's not going to be enough high ground damage to clear out the waves. They do not have the wave clear. The Blazing Duet, that is going to be the base targeted down by Black Bulls. That's going to be game number 1 taken away 1-0.
What a engage there. And I love how Sanky's pushing them up that top lane. And Bommy just knows. They find the angle, catch 4 people against that wall. A huge play from Black Bulls there. But I gotta say, Ultraviolet almost, they started showing some promise towards the end game there. Definitely a hard choice to choose.